strokes with fury paint the walls of fate. Figures posed in battle, frozen by the gate. Final spinning stories, artists never late. Ghostly echoes cry, resonate through slate. Welcome to the Blindcast, echoes in the void. For the dreamers and the demons, visions they deploy.
Alright, what's up everyone, the Blind Creative here. Welcome to yet another episode of the Blindcast. I believe this is episode 2, episode 2 of the second season, that is. Wow, it's pretty great knowing that a lot of people that I know have enjoyed the podcast, so that's a plus. I'm thankful for that. And for those of you who are new, thanks for listening in. I noticed that surprisingly I've gotten a lot more views on my podcast than my regular toy photography stuff, which I'm like, all right. Hey, I'm gonna try to post my podcast stuff, like I said in the last episode, once or twice a week. But I thought of it, since today is a Thursday, Friday, sorry, which is the day I normally post my toy photography stuff. Well, Fridays or Saturday. I just thought about, why not just make this another podcast episode, but toy photography themed. So, the previous episode, I asked Livable Halo Addiction some questions, and this time around, I kind of want to just have some questions for myself to answer, and for all of you to be informed about. Okay, so here we go. Give me one moment here, and I will pull them up. Okay, so before I even get started, the reason I said I have some questions for myself is I actually used that what's the thing called, the Chat GPT, to ask me questions, about possible questions that could be interesting for all of you to, just in general, things for all of you to find out about myself. I hope I'm making sense here. I feel like all of you are just scratching your heads like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But yeah, so I did have some questions generated for me. Yeah, I know, that's how lonely I am. I don't actually have any fans to ask me any questions. Okay, no. Oh god, crazy stuff. Alright, so about myself. One question that's popping up here says, can you tell us a bit about your background and how you got into toy photography and art? Alright, this is a pretty good question actually. So, a bit about myself. Of course, I said it in my pilot episode, or 0 episode. I'm legally blind. I've been legally blind my whole life. I've always been into art, just drawing in general. I didn't really get into painting and toy photography until later in my life. Actually, I started getting into painting until I was a teenager. So, yeah, throughout my whole life, I've just been drawing. I would always try to draw sci-fi characters. Maybe I'll post my old drawings in a future YouTube video. But yeah, I've just been doing that up until my later teenage years, which that's when the whole acrylic painting phase started, and eventually it didn't turn into a phase. It just kind of became like my permanent thing. And as time went on, during my acrylic painting phase, or the time that I got into it, I should say, is when I found out about toy photography. At the time, of course, I didn't really think of it as toy photography. I just thought of, pretty cool pictures of toys. I didn't realize that was, like a whole nother, I don't want to say genre, but like a whole nother form of art that had a community. I was just aware of artist community and, painters in general. So what happened was I started seeing posts from my good friend Livable Halo Addiction. He was posting photos of his believe it was his Halo stuff, and his he had a little BB-8 figurine that he would take pictures of, and man, that actually kind of I'll admit it kind of inspired me to start taking pictures here and there of action figures, which it wasn't really a big thing at the time. I was still doing a lot more painting, but it was there. Up until, man, I feel like this is when social media started to listen in on our conversations, but eventually I started to see posts on social media and mainly on YouTube about this other toy photographer. His name is Sir Dork. He goes by the name Sir Dork on YouTube and Instagram. So, hey man, if you're listening, thanks for inspiring me. So yeah, he was another person that inspired me to really become a toy photographer. That's when I really actually heard about toy photography. Yeah, it was crazy. So I started to watch his videos, and eventually I just told myself, you know what? Why not? Well, sorry about that background noise. Yeah, why not actually start doing this as like a full-on thing? Obviously not as a career, because I was just barely getting into it. But yeah, I was just telling myself, why not just get more into toy photography, dive deep into it practically, and yeah. I got myself some legitimate action figures. Well, actually, they weren't action figures. I'll admit they were minifigures. Let's just say minifigures. I got some Halo. What are they called? Halo Mega Constructs figures, and my stepdad ended up buying me this little light box slash green screen. I had like a little paper that worked as a green screen anyway. I would just put it inside of that box that had the lights and whatnot, and that's pretty much how I got started. Was just from a little light box. I would set them up. I bought some little trees here and there, and I started to use that a lot of different editing apps on the iPhone at the time. I didn't really have an official editing app that I liked, and eventually, as I started to gain more experience with toy photography, man, I just started to, I guess, evolve or just kind of move on to other apps, and I've found new techniques. I've learned new things from other toy photographers, and of course from Sir Dork as I watched more of his videos. And yeah, that just blew up practically, and eventually I decided to make my my dead YouTube channel at the time into a toy photography channel. So yeah, that's when I started to post videos of toy photography and art, and I feel like it's been going well ever since. Hope I'm making sense. So yeah, that's my blind origin. Let's just say. All right. So another question here that I see is how has being legally blind influenced your creative process and approach to photography? Well, that's actually a pretty interesting one. Again, hopefully I'm making sense. So I want to say, I was just trying to show the world, or show my viewers or followers my perspective in my creative lens, I should say. Trying to show the world through my eyes, or through my lens, like I said, like I just said. I know I just repeated myself there, but yeah, just trying to show off how I do things from my point of view when it comes to photography. Because surprisingly, not a lot of people realize that someone that's legally blind can create things. Oh, in terms of photography, that is. I know that for heck, painting or drawing, yeah, there's some famous blind artists out there and just in history. But yeah, when it comes to photography, though, I feel like not a lot of people are aware of that. So that's one thing when it comes to my toy photography content. I just try to, show the world that even though you have a disability, even though even though you might have something that's kind of holding you back, well, you shouldn't let it hold you back. You should just push on forward. You should create things in your own way or as best as you can, and just I don't want to say be consistent because that's I feel like that's stressful, but just put your work out there as often as you can, whether it be toy photography or just art. So yeah, that's the thing. That's my goal as a toy photographer in social media or artist. Just to show the world that people with disabilities can create amazing things. All right, so on to another question. Let's see. I'm gonna answer a question relating to my Instagram. All right. So one that I see here is, how do I plan my Instagram photo shoots, and if I have any particular process or workflow? Okay, so when it comes to my Instagram stuff, I normally try to plan a lot of it for Fridays or even Thursdays sometimes, which is when it's my last day of or just practically my last day of school for the week. It's when it gives me time to breathe and not have to worry about anything for a bit. So yeah, usually Thursdays, mostly Fridays, is when I start to plan out my photo shoots. It's crazy. I know I do everything last minute. I'll be honest. I don't really have like a set. Well, I guess it's kind of is a set schedule if it's Thursdays or Fridays, but yeah, I just try to take some time off so I can gain some motivation and gain some ideas of what I want to create. And once I do that, I set up my work or my little workstation, I should say, either indoors or out. I want to say mostly indoors, but every now and then I do outdoor toy photography, which, let's be honest, I feel like toy photography outdoors is pretty amazing. That's where you get to do a lot of things naturally, just have a lot of like natural things in the photo versus photo shoots indoors. Yeah, it's I want to say it's a lot more like sets and dioramas, and I want to say it's a lot more editing when it comes to the photos, of course. So yeah, once I've tried to do the whole photo shoot wherever I'm at, I edit my photos, and of course, as most of you might know or don't know, I live stream my editing sessions for all of you to watch. Hopefully you all like that. Hopefully you're all enjoying those. If not, please let me know. So yeah, once I've live streamed the live edit, it's when I post it onto Instagram, which is the final product. So yeah, that's pretty much my workflow. I feel like it works well for me. I've tried to post every day before a long time ago, and it just it doesn't work well, honestly. As I say, as I used to say to Lovable Halo Addiction, it's quality over quantity when it comes to just creations of ours, because we're both content creators, and we both know a few other content creators as well. But hey, Lovable Halo Addiction, he posts every day, which, man, more power to him. If you're listening, man, props to you. Yeah, honestly, I wish I could post toy photography stuff every day. That'd be amazing. But unfortunately for me, my brain doesn't have that sort of processing power. So yeah, there's that for my workflow and creative process. All right. For the next question here, which I actually like this one. So I'm actually selecting questions here, the ones that I like. So what this one's saying is, how do I engage with with all of you, with the community? And to that, I'd say I post a lot on my stories when it comes to Instagram, and usually that way I'll get a lot of likes and every now and then messages on Instagram, commenting on my photos like, "Oh man, really cool photo, really amazing photo." Which, to those of you who do that, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. But even then, to people that just view it, which is fine, it's still the community engaging technically. I'm appreciating all of that. I'm so thankful for that because it's again it shows me that at least someone is watching. It's or at least enjoying my toy photography work. Uh, so yeah, I do that, and also of course when it comes to my photos, posting my photos on Instagram, I try to I should say this. Oh, I try to message other creators or other people that I know in group chats and whatnot that I posted something, and most of the time that works, and they'll comment on the photo, or sometimes I'll get lucky and I'll have someone new that comments on the photo. Every now and then it's it's a spam account, if that's what you want to call it, but sometimes I'll get comments from random accounts that supposedly have thousands of viewers but no posts, or sometimes one post, but they're weird. But aside from that though, yeah, I do get engagement out of all of you, which again, thank you. And let's see, on to YouTube. YouTube, there we go. Yeah, no, I'm over here pointing to two random people. You two, get over here. No. Okay, so when it comes to these YouTube questions, one of them here that I like is what inspired me to start my YouTube channel, which I want to say, well, like I said earlier, I had my YouTube channel, and I had other content on there that was not toy photography related, and eventually, yeah, just ended up being a dead channel. And when I did decide to start doing toy photography stuff on my YouTube channel, it was because of Sir Dork and also Lovable Halo Addiction. So props to both of you if any of you are listening. And yeah, for all of you who don't know them, go check them out on Instagram at Lovable Halo Addiction, and for Sir Dork, of course, it's at Sir Dork. If not, you can always just go into my Instagram account and or profile, not the actual account, of course, but the profile, and search them up through there, and they should pop up really, really quick. They both post really amazing content, and I'm sure they will also inspire you to post something of your own or create your own content. Which, hey, if you are, I encourage you. It's keep at it. It's really great stuff. It's a lot of fun when it comes to creating content, whether it be toy photography or gaming stuff or just anything else. Just keep at it. Keep doing what you're doing. If you especially if you love it. All right. So let's see. Let me try to go to another question here, because I don't want the questions to be repeats. All right. Ooh, you know what? I like this one. It says, what are my goals for the future of for the future of my YouTube channel? Do I have any upcoming projects that I'm excited about? Well, one project that I was excited about, and I'm still excited about, is this whole podcast. Honestly, even for this podcast, it was something that I started, and I think even before 2020, but during 2020, I had this Blindcast podcast, and it was good. It was a lot of fun, but I feel like I still needed more time to prepare and just things to plan out things a lot better, so it won't be messy. Okay, yeah. So when it comes to projects, though, other projects besides this one, which is now out, of course. I don't know if I want to. I do have something in mind, but I'm not sure if it's going to be official yet. So, okay. Before I say this, before I want to talk about it, I want to explain something first. So when I was a little kid years ago, when I was young, early 2000s and 90s and all that. Of course, for most of us growing up, right, we all played with toys and whatnot. But only thing for me was which if all of you have done this, wow, describe to me your best memory with what I'm about to say. But for me anyway, I used to play with play with my brother and play with my dad at the time when I was little. And only thing is, we didn't just do any regular, you know, action figures fighting each other and whatnot, and using our imagination. Which, oh man, good times. Um, uh, what we did was each of us would sit in a different, like in different corners of the room in a spaced out area, practically, and we would grab our action figures and we would set them up in different spots in our area, of course. So we would stand some up in a shoebox or kind of put some action figures kind of trying to take cover supposedly, or some just trying to do different poses, so we'd be pretty much set and prepared, right? And after that we would grab, let's see, I'm trying to remember what we used exactly. Oh, so we used we used like practically anything that we could find, so markers or pencils. And yes, I know some of you are gonna, well, not pencils, I would say markers or even erasers. Yeah, scratch that, not pencils, because that's dangerous. Man, what am I gonna say next? We used scissors. um okay, so yeah, we would grab markers and erasers, and we would throw it to each other's setup when it comes to the action figures, and try to knock them down. And of course, last one standing one, or last toy standing would win practically. And I would say it was pretty competitive. It got intense. So okay, now going back to this whole upcoming projects thing, I do want to do something similar to that, to where I could have maybe someone with me, not playing toys obviously, but just do that specific thing that we used to do when we were kids. Just have action figures set up in their own spots. Of course, now that we're grown up, we could probably just do other things as well. Hey, not dirty things. All right, get your mind out of the gutter. What I'm trying to say is, we can make the setups look a whole lot better. Me and I don't know. I have to find someone that's someone that I know, obviously, but someone that's in the area that I could record a video with and attempt that. I'm not sure if it'll work out, but hey, if you know what I mean, cool. If you're someone that I know and is listening to this and you know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. All right, and let's see. Should I answer another question or not? All right, you know what? I'll answer one more. One question here. Last one, of course. How do I stay motivated and creative, especially when things get challenging? Oh man, this is a good one. Dang. Okay. Well, the way I stay motivated is by just enjoying my day-to-day life. I try to not stress out about creating the content. I'll watch movies, I'll play video games, listen to other podcasts, of course. When it comes to video games, I'll play some Xbox games. When it comes to movies, I'll watch pretty much anything pop culture related, Star Wars, Marvel movies, DC movies, or just any other movies that might interest me, Godzilla and whatnot, or any zombie or horror movies. And when it comes to podcasts, yeah, I'll listen to a Star Wars podcast, or even a ghost / paranormal themed podcast. And yeah, that's how I stay motivated, and that's how I gain inspiration. And another way that I also stay motivated is by, just like I said, living life, talking with friends and family, and if an idea pops up, then I try to mark it down. Try to write it down, I should say, so I won't forget. And by the end of the week, by the time it's Thursday or Friday, I feel energized. I feel, ready to go. Also, let me know how many times I've said, That's like the other time in my other podcast episode where I was saying anyway. Oh boy. Seriously though, if all of you did have a drinking game with me saying that, I I hope you survived, and I hope I hope you're alive and well. But yeah. All right. So that's that. And all right. I'm trying to think of. You know what? No. Okay, like I said, that's all the questions I have for today. So I'm gonna answer. I'm trying to think of any paranormal experiences. Speaking of, the whole paranormal podcast, I did talk about that that experience that I had when I was little. Oh, okay. Hold on. I don't know if this is considered paranormal. I mean, for me it is, but for some, I guess it would just be considered a logical explanation. But okay, here we go. Cue the spooky music, because we're nearing the Halloween season, which I'm excited about. All right, this was when I was a teenager, or pretty much, yeah, late teens. I was going to sleep after being on my phone for a good while. I know some of us do that. So I was, just getting ready to pass out. And as I was passing out, honestly, it was like 3 in the morning. And yes, I know, I went to sleep at 3 in the morning after being on my phone. Not good. Don't do that, kids. Yeah, so I was going to sleep, and as I was starting to drift further and further into into a deeper sleep, I started to realize that my door was wide open, which is really weird because I normally close my door at night. I don't know why. I just don't like seeing the door open at night. I feel like someone is just watching me from the shadows, and yeah. I get creeped up by just open doors at night and mirrors at night for some reason. And yeah, anyone else here have that fear or those fears? Let me know, because it might not be so relatable to most of you. But okay, so I realized that my door was open, which of course I immediately snapped back to being fully awake. And I was gonna get ready to, stand up and go close the door. But as I was trying to sit up straight, I felt like someone was having their hand on my chest, which was really weird. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll just turn away from the door so I won't have to see it open, which that usually worked for me. But still, I get creeped out. Because I just feel like someone's gonna creep up behind me, which surprise, yeah, I felt like something did creep up behind me. And the next thing I know, I really couldn't move. I was able to see like the door open out of the corner of my eye when I laid on my side. So surprisingly, I had enough strength to be able to do that. I don't know how, but I did. And next thing I know, I heard someone just whispering into my ear, which, oh man, yeah, goosebumps all around. I know. It was a female voice too, which is the creepy part. If I knew what she was saying, nope, not at all. But I did hear just a voice, and oh god, yeah, it was just the worst feeling. I felt like it lasted for a long time, which, who knows, maybe it didn't, or maybe it did. Eventually, the feeling did go away, but by the time it went away is when I fell asleep. And, yeah, Um, this was kind of short, but still a really creepy experience for me. Thankfully, that hasn't happened anymore. Um, yeah, I guess you could, for most of you, you could just say, oh, it was just sleep paralysis, which, who knows, maybe it could have. I've never had sleep paralysis before, but me, I just consider it as a paranormal experience. Again, if you believe in that stuff, cool. Um, comment your experience. If you don't believe in that stuff, then that's all right. Hopefully, you're just getting entertainment out of this. Hopefully, you're getting a good laugh out of this, especially for the Halloween season. And yeah, that's all I got for today. Hopefully, you all enjoyed this podcast. If you did, please make sure to follow me on Spotify. If you're listening to this podcast on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more unseen content. Later.